Hello, I'm Danny and welcome to my channel. Today we are turning this pile of, I'm going to say, scrap wood into a point of sale honey dispensing box for my to sell my honey in on the bottom of my driveway. So what we've got, so it's just stacked. I haven't really organised it very well, so I apologise, but we'll go with it. So obviously at the top we've got the stand, but I've got to fix that because it's a bit rubbish. And then we've got bee supers. I've got 4 of them. We're only going to use 3. And we've got a lid, the roof. What we're going to do is stack them up and make them into a thingy. So the first job on the agenda is to sand the hell out of them, because I kind of want to see what they look like under bare wood, so I can stain them rather than having to paint. But that all depends on how good they sand up. So I'm going to go and get the belt sander out, and we'll see how they come out. Well, the first job before you sand it is to use a dot punch and punch the nails that's sticking through, so when you sand it, it doesn't shred your discs. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. It's not that hard, just that and bang it with a hammer. So I'm going to quickly whiz around and do all these, and then we'll carry on. So looking at the condition of these supers, they are, well, I've got a technical term for them, but they're pretty knackered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them just prepped for painting, I think, and then we're going to fill as much up with glue, and just generally just try and make it work. This one's still wet, so I need to put this one on my little heater inside. And we don't have any central heating at the moment. We're renovating a house, so it looks like a scrapyard. So yeah, I do apologise for that. But yeah, basically what we're going to do is get this dried, this one dried, get it glued up. In fact, all of them glued up, and then we're going to whiz around with a sander and sand them all, inside, outside, everywhere, and then get them painted and done. So yeah, I think I would like to have stained them just a wood colour and kept the grain. But it's just I think these are too far gone really, and I'm trying to do this as cheaply as I can using what I have. So yeah, so right, let's go crack on and get that sorted. So before I start sanding, I think it's probably worth just throwing some filler at some of the obvious places, just to get them kind of start filling them out. This has been repaired a few times by the looks of it. I'm just using some Wicks interior exterior wood filler. It's pre-mixed, so I'm just going to squelch it in the places I think needs it, and then when we sand it, it'll be kind of ahead of the game really. So yeah, it's not that exciting, but it is a process.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
That's a shit start to it, isn't it? All of them have been sanded and filled where they need to, and then what I'm going to do now is make the top and bottom of the money compartment. So I'm just going to use some of this old hoarding I've got lying around, cut it to the size of the box, just a bit over, and then we'll screw it to the top and bottom. We've also got to cut a door in here as well, one of these, which I might do. I'm going to cut these first and then cut the door in and get that hinged. Well, I've screwed the wooden base on now. I've left it proud all the way round, just a tiny lip, just because I'm going to sand it all off when I get there. So that's the base. I've cut the hatch in the door, but kept the timber here. So then we're going to hinge and put a lock on that. That will go, hang on, like that way. So that will go into there and open out, so you can get your hand in to get your money. And now I'm going to cut the money chute, basically. So I've got to make a decision where that's going. Well, we're back, and we're actually inside my temporary front room. But we've had problems with the GoPro, so not much has come out, which is really frustrating. But I'll show you kind of what we've done. So we've got the hinges on now. All this stuff is what I've just had lying around. I not actually bought anything except for the chain, and that's to stop the lid going all the way back. And I've also bought a lock as well. No, in fact, no, I found the lock. So we've got the 3 supers together, and in between them, so on this level here is obviously the floor. There's a bit of old hoarding I had kicking around that I got. I don't know what I bought it for, but it was just an old scrappy bit. Another one there, so this is where the money goes. And then in here, just ignore it for now, it's a bit scabby, I put a shelf in, which I think is going to be quite a cool feature. It means we put my honey on there, and then this bit here, these are going to be replaced for some better timber, because literally just tonight we cut on my laser. We cut out this kind of coin chute. So it's got a slot in it to take £1 coins, and same width as, well, just a bit wider than a £5 note. And then that's going down here and will be attached to the side. All painted white. The writing is what's the opposite to emboss? Engraved. So basically what will happen is this will get painted white, and then I'll just dribble some black paint in there. So that will go in there quite nicely. It's going to be pretty cool, I think. And then around this side, this is the hole for the lock. And then you've got this. I've just made a bit of a temporary door stop. Well, not temporary, it's going to stay there forever, but it'll do. Can't do anyone kicking it in. So yeah, no, I used an old bit of a piano hinge I found. That was a pain in the arse to fit. As you can see, plywood there, plywood there. Used a bit of filler. Now this is an old hive stand that kept collapsing under its own weight. And all I've done is just put these, like the same thickness wood as the legs, in between the top struts. So that works quite well. And then to get the lid working, I had to cut a bit out the back, and another piano hinge all the way along, as you saw inside. And so now it lifts up, and then the chain's obviously there to stop it going all the way back and snapping the hinge off. So we ran loads of filler around. The boxes are a bit scabby. Obviously, so these bits of timber will be removed and replaced for a nice bit of pine. But I can't do that until I made that. I only cut this on the laser tonight. So yeah, it's kind of getting there. So what I'm doing tonight is I'm actually getting the outside a fresh lick of paint, and that's only because my children are in bed. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not very good at painting. In fact, this is the bit I dread the most, because the basics of it is pretty good. It looks like a beehive. So hopefully it'd be quite obvious what it is. And then on the laser, again, so we're in my kitchen now. So on the laser, we've made this to go inside the lid. This is a bit of plywood. It's getting yacht varnish, this is. And that's going to go, as you open the lid up, it's going to go inside. And then this bit here, which is quite cool, once again yacht varnished. This is going to get screwed to the front here like so. So it's quite obvious what's inside. And once again, the screw holes, my wife did them a bit too close to the edge, so they may snap off. But if they do, we'll make a thing of it. Maybe etch some bees out and just glue it on. I'm probably just going to glue them on anyway. Hot glue gun. So yeah, so that's them. So yeah, they've got to get yacht varnished on both sides, all the way around, front and back, just to really seal them in, because obviously this ply is made for making like boxes. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I'm sorry I didn't show you a bit more, but there really isn't much to it. I glued 3 boxes together, sanded them so they're reasonably flat, cut a hole in the door and threw a lid on it. It's not really much to it other than that, really. Well, I'm not very good at these updates. Painting is like painting. But we're getting there now. The paint's starting to take, and starting to look a lot better. I'm not very good at painting, but I've got to remember this is just going outside my house, and it's going to be just getting covered in rain and stuff. So I've got a heater next to it. The roof's all masked up to try and not get too much. We're going to get, I think I'm going to put another coat on it tonight, and then tomorrow I'm going to leave it because I want to go to the pub, and then on Friday night I'm going to give it just a gentle rub down, try and make it look a bit better. I'm going to take it off the stand, and then give it another couple of coats, but it's still not perfect, but it's looking better, like considering what it's made out of and the scrap wood and all that sort of nonsense. This is all glued in now. These are in. I've got no more filler, so you won't be able to see that anyway. I'm not too bothered. I've painted the hinges, just because it will look better in the end. I'm just going to keep lashing paint at it, but it's starting to cover now. But yeah, it weighs an absolute ton. Also got the signs and got the shelf I've got to paint, so that's going to start getting coated up tonight. That will fit in there. I think it still fits in there like so. So it just means it's just at the top, and it's just a bit obvious. But then I've got candles to sell and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, we're getting there, making progress with it. Slowly but surely. I'll give you another update when I'm doing something a little bit interesting other than painting, because it's dull. So this is it, the finished article. So we've obviously had to write lift here because people are stupid, and that's it. So we cut all this out on my laser. This isn't quite how I wanted it to turn out, but we had trouble getting the ink to not bleed through. Excuse my little boy having a close inspection. So yeah, so we've got the signs all done. We had to change them a little because I used the word raw, and apparently that's not allowed. And then in here we've got the lock and the handle to open it, and yeah, it's kind of it. It's all finished, all painted. It doesn't look too bad. The painting could be a lot better, but it is what it is. It's going out in all weathers, so it's going to get repainted again, probably every couple of years or so. But so this is what the box looks like now. You see it's starting to go a bit mouldy on the outside and a bit grubby, but it's been out here over a year now, and the shelf has worked out quite good. Inside here we've fitted loads of blocks and a condensation bag that's full of silica gel, and then this is where the money is. So we've sold tenner. We did have problems with this blowing over in the wind, so we put those big heavy blocks inside. The lid is waterproof. We put another sign on the top, and we leave this down pretty much all the time now. It took a long time for people to realise that there was always honey in it, but in the summer it gets too hot and the honey goes to liquid, and in winter it rains too much, so it always gets wet in the box. But we've got a hygiene rating and a bit of a fact sheet about what's going on, and this is pretty much where it lives. So yeah, well happy with the end result, and it's definitely paying off. The hinge is going a bit rusty, but I'll replace that. But other than that, all is good. So hopefully you've enjoyed that update and this little project. It's been a very good project. It's earned us quite a lot of money. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll catch you all in the next video.